That's what I like to hear.
Series ended way back, and just continues to continuity. The first arc, everything gets reversed. Cobra discredits the Joes, presents themselves as a black water type organization, and outsources itself to the U.S. government to provide security. And they're now charged with hunting down the Joes who are outlaws. So that's the whole first arc. And the second arc involves two major characters, one Cobra and one G.I. Joe, getting their allegiances reversed.
Also, that book has the interior art is by Augusto Cadillo, who I think has been knocking it out of the park. He's doing one of the covers, but we've also got Rob Wiggum, classic G.I. Joe artist, providing our retro covers that we put the sort of trade dress on and make it look like part of the old run too, which is a lot of fun. It's silly. We like it. You, sir, have a question.
I do indeed. I was wondering if the D&D miniseries and the ongoing are going to be intertwining.
Sorry about that. I'm trying to so you don't hear my stomach.
The mic on.
The ongoing series is going to be basically set in the core world, what Wizards likes to call the Points Alive. Is another name that a lot of fans use. So that'll be the core world on the ongoing, and then the miniseries is Dark Sun. That's going to be a completely different setting. So we're not looking to intermingle it, and we want to keep them all separate now. So.
And how many issues is the miniseries?
The miniseries, what do we give you on that, Alex? We give you 5 issues? Yeah, we give you 5.
It's really good. The attention to detail is amazing. To be continued. We don't have another issue. Just make it up for yourself. Yes, sir. Don't move that. Maybe kind of more. There you go.
Good afternoon. My first comic that I ever purchased was G.I. Joe #5. So I want to personally thank Mr. Hama for starting this incredible habit that I've developed. My favorite book is, it's the only comic I've collected for a long time. I'll get a shot to get G.I. Joe, maybe all the other stuff too. So, my question actually is for Mr. Johnson. Yes. Your G.I. Joe Cobra series, you've taken a lot of characters from the classic that were a lot of fans thought were Crossmaster. Do you see that as a challenge to kind of reinvent those characters and give them that kind of beat where they're more accepted, or kind of turning that line where they become, I don't want to say realistic, but a character that has that root of the original character, but also is something completely different?
Well, in the beginning, in the first miniseries, I didn't really think about it a whole lot. I was looking for characters that I felt would work for the story that I was, dealing with. But because people kept bringing that up, that I took a character like Chuckles and made him cool, or made him kept the core of who he is, but made him seem like something he had never been before. Then it did become a challenge. Then it was like, well, now I have to. And Chris Gage was the one who picked Crocmaster to make Crocmaster, the kind of creepy. Actually, the next issue that comes out is the
next issue would go over the origin of Crocmaster.
And Chris wrote it solo. I didn't contribute to it because Crocmaster is like his character, so it's a really good story. So yeah, we do that now, and that can get to the point of being just sort of for its own benefit, which isn't useful to storytelling. Like, well, who's the dumbest character? Let's make him cool. But there definitely will be a few more characters like that we've selected because they seem so unlikely, and hopefully we do as good a job as people seem to think we've done before. But in the final arc of Cobra that Puceau is drawing, there will be at least one more completely ridiculous character that you guys probably forgot about that will be coming back and hopefully also like it is not Raptor. I'm sorry.
One of the space ones?
It's not one of the space ones.
Okay.
Forgive me, I've been busy this year and haven't kept up as much as I'd like, but I'm a huge fan of the Transformers Spotlight comics. Are there any plans for that? Because I know last year said it's kind of on the back burner because you get so much stuff going on.
We keep talking about spotlights. We're trying to some Transformers fans may not have noticed that we've had some continuity problems. Others may have. And what we're trying to do is tone everything, sort of get everything back together and sort of get all the stories kind of on the same page. Doesn't mean we're going to be telling a lot of stories that are like fixing things that old continuity problems, because that typically leads to bad stories that are just about continuity. But as opportunities arise to smooth some of those things out, we'll try and take them. But when you're having, as an editor or as multiple writers and artists, as you're working on multiple miniseries that are in different stages of development that are not connected at all, you wind up running into even more continuity errors. So we're sort of trying to pull everything back. It's one of the reasons, not the only reason, it's one of the reasons we really focused on Earth and this smaller cast of characters recently. So I would not rule out spotlights going forward. I don't think we have any on the schedule right now. But I also like spotlights. So like I said, it's more of a let's try and reel this back in a little bit, get all our ducks in a row, and then we can sort of build back out.
Thank you.
Hi, my question is for Denton. I was just wondering, in the D&D comics, the game has a lot of kind of iconic monsters that you don't find anywhere else. Could you give us a hint about some of those that might be here?
Denton actually put a no monsters rule in
It's all zombies and robots. Yeah, we'll definitely be using some of the classic monsters, but there's none I can really talk about right now. Sorry.
Of course, now I agree just like the way, because that gentleman was much taller than I was. All right, I missed the first 20 minutes of the panel, so if any of this was covered, I apologize, but as a Transformers fan, there's some things I'd like to see. First off, if there's any chance of new animated stories, especially continuing on what would have been season 4 of animated, I think that would be really cool to see. So is there any chance of that?
We're not currently developing new content at this point. But I wouldn't, that doesn't mean it will never happen.
It would be cool to see. Also, I'd like to see more Beast Wars stories, since the Beast Wars miniseries is a lot of fun. No chance of that either.
I'm the most disappointing man on our team.
Oh, jeez. Let's see if we can go in 0 for 3 then. Also, as a character request, not necessarily in the spotlight, but certainly showing up in the regular books. Punch Counter Punch has been one of the most underused characters in the entire Transformers canon, and it would be really cool to see him in any story, just about any continuity you can name.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Should I just go ahead and say this?
Yeah.
It's not on the schedule. I'm not sure where we're putting it. 4-issue miniseries. Called Legacy of Rust.
Sweet! All right. That's it. Thank you.
First got a D&D question, then a quick Cobra question.
Speaking
for the D&D, is there any promotional die at all for the series?
We've been looking into it. We don't have one for the first issue, but we're still planning on some other regional incentives. So pretty sweet, but that's one that's on our radar. We just haven't looked it all out yet.
Did you see a promotional die? Promotional die.
Oh. Yeah, we're looking to do like a 20-sided die with like an IDW logo and the DD logo, 1-20. So yeah, we're working on it. So we're just trying to figure out what the best place to slot that to.
Although, Michael, I would like to obtain the D&D diet license.
On expense list.
What's your second question?
The second question about Cobra, especially with the Boyle storyline and having similarities to Scientology. You guys had any backlash for that or anything?
Actually, no, but in preparation for that story, I live in Los Angeles, so I was going to go get audited. I don't know if everyone here is familiar with that process, but when you go to like a Scientology center, they do this sort of personality test. They call it being audited. So I was going to go do it because I wanted to have the experience and make it sort of as authentic as possible without, saying it's Scientology. And then,
which you didn't just do.
It's not Scientology. It's the oil. It's a different thing. So I was going to go do that, and I had planned to do it, and then my lovely roommate, Grace Letty, who was sitting right there, who has lived in LA all her life and is connected into showbiz and stuff, said, don't go do that. And I said, well, look, it's going to be fine. I'm going to give like a fake name, and they'll never find me. And she said, yes, they will, and they will never leave you alone. So I didn't go do it. I was scared off, but yeah, that's as far as it got, was the potential for repercussion. And you know what? Something tells me Tom Cruise is not reading my Cobra comic. I mean, I would hope. I've been sending it to his house, but I haven't heard it. So yeah, if that answers your question.
In preparation for the original series, Mike actually tried out to be a part of G.I. Joe, but it turned out he was too much of a freak.
Hi, I'm a big fan of the Transformers comics that you guys produce. You mentioned the continuity. The continuity for me is not so much in the story, but in the art. And seeing how, for example, in the first few issues, Don was doing the designs, they completely switch. And, you know, and I understand there's creative license to artists take on character. Prime, for example, Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, look so different from one artist to the next to almost be to compare Prime from Armada to Prime from Cybertron, toy line from the old series. They look that drastically different to me. Is it going to be an effort to maintain some kind of consistency with the designs? It's not that I'm trying to suggest taking away creative license, but some of the designs are so different from one another to be almost unrecognizable.
Yeah, yes, is the answer to that question. We decided when we were launching the ongoing series in Bumblebee and Last Stand of the Records to let the artists not have free reign, but you know there are elements to each character that we wanted to make sure were intact so they would be recognizable. And I love that sort of thing as a comic fan. I love the different interpretations, but it actually led exactly to like an actual plot point continuity problem in the case of Blur that I should have caught and I didn't. And you know the feedback from the fans has been we like all of these artists, but we don't like the sort of up and down jerky nature of it. So what we're doing now is Don's the lead guy on the book. We all like his designs. We hope you do too. He's not turning in like this is the design, you have to follow this to spec, but they are going to look more along those lines. So Hot Rod or Wolverine, whatever you want to call it, will look more like that sort of going forward. That process is just starting in the issues that are just beginning to come out. Guido did some patches in his issues that are coming out now. But when Don comes back for issue 14, by that point, the stuff that's in production, when we were sort of figuring out how we wanted to go forward, will be kind of clearing out. And so pretty much from around that point on, that things will be more consistent.
So which designs will Don be using? Is he going back to the original ones, or is it going to be kind of a hybrid between his and what Guido was doing?
Don is a man of mystery. It's going to be more like what you saw in the first 6 issues of the ongoing series.
All right. Well, what is that? I'm telling you. I'm being honest. I like the designs that are a little closer to the original characters, which is what the series was. But to see them so radically different to me makes me not care as much about the characters.
Well, I mean, Don, myself, most of these guys, we go on the message boards, we see this stuff, we get letters and emails in, and you know, as I say a lot on the forums, we are listening, we're taking into account, formulating plans. You know, we have books in development, so plans don't even have to be implemented necessarily right away. But I think Don was disheartened by a lot of the response to his designs. He tried to do something very different, and so I think he's pulling back a little bit. You know? But it's still more what you saw in the first 6 issues than sort of cartoon and cheesy and stuff.
Thank you.
We're trying to please everyone, I swear.